Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE NXT UK episode 40 and NXT episode 503, both broadcast on Wednesday, April 24th, 2019. I totally forgot to talk about this in the mega episode that I posted right before this. I think it's 2 episodes ago. Where I talked mostly about my road trip out to Iowa and Nebraska. And one of the things, other than these 2 episodes, that I forgot to talk about, that I did want to talk about, is that while I was driving, it was a lot of driving, and sometimes I think about really stupid things while I'm driving. And I thought, there are 2 states, and therefore 4% of states that have ska in their name. They have ska in them. And no other music genre comes close. I couldn't think of any except technically Nebraska also has R&B in the title. The letters R and B. And so, Nebraska should be the most musical state. And actually, at the CHI Health System Center something or other, where Cirque du Soleil Crystal is at, they had all kinds of statues of musicians outside of there. So that was kind of cool. And then I realized there's actually a 3rd state with ska in the name. And that is, it's phonetic, though. Wisconsin also has ska in there. And so that's they're ska is 2 ahead of R&B. But then I realized there is a certain genre that is in every single state, because this joke doesn't work as an audio joke. It works a lot better as a tweet or something. Every state has a pop. POP period, population. So 100% of states have pop in it. So anyway, that works a lot. That doesn't work very well for audio podcasts. At least the last part doesn't. Also tonight, I'm recording this on Monday. Monday Night Raw has already aired. I have not watched it yet because I was at Comedy Works watching a very, very, very funny stand-up set by Kevin James. He barely ever does stand-up anymore. It's a rare occasion, and it was really, really fun. And if you see his name pop up in promotional emails about doing stand-up near you, give it a shot. Go check out his Netflix special first. It's you get a good idea of his stand-up comedy. But so if you don't like it, then I don't recommend going to see him. But if you do like his Netflix special, keep an eye out if he does just a one-night thing. It was only the one show here in Denver, and I was really glad that I got a ticket for it. It was kind of awkward. I thought they have like a bench seat in one of the rows. It's like a bench all the way down. And they said, okay, go sit there. And I sat where they pointed. And the guy who was sitting on the end, it looked like, because of where they pointed, they pointed like a space over from him, not right next to him. And so I assumed that that's because there's another person. There was another person that was with him. They were in the bathroom or something. And he had like a pile of coats, a whole mess of coats that he was like really struggling with figuring out what to do with them. And I'm like, okay, well, this makes sense. They sat me. I am 2 spots over. There's going to be a person in between us. That's fine. There's the 3-person like skinny table thing they have. Whatever. If you've been to Comedy Works South here in Denver, then you know what I'm talking about, maybe. But as it turned out, that he was not there with another person. I was there by myself. Apparently, he was there by himself, and there's an empty space in between us for a sold out show, and it was just kind of awkward. And then like I would like adjust how I'm sitting every now and then. He had his coats, his mountain of coats in that spot in between us. And it was kind of awkward. And then I ended up like sitting on the coat. And then at the end, he said, "Oh, excuse me." And because I was sitting on part of the coat and I had to, get up so he could take it away or whatever. It was kind of dumb. And it took up way too much of this podcast talking about it, but also of my brain processing power to thinking too much about it. At an otherwise really, really fun show. And yeah, I recommend Kevin James. Super, super funny. I need to see more of his movies. I haven't seen Here Comes the Boom yet. I've heard that one is really good. I also saw Avengers a second time today. I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything yet again. I will not give any spoilers or anything like that. But I did like it just as much, if not more, than seeing it the first time. And there's some I thought I would be immune to some of the emotional moments because I knew they were coming. But like right off the bat, like the first one, whatever the first one of this happens, I was like, oh, damn it, they got me again. I'm not immune to this. I'm going to be tearing up throughout this movie during stuff, or just like being really excited about other stuff, and that's a really great thing. So there you go. There's my second review of Avengers Endgame. It's still really good. And I saw some discussion. I'm in a chat group. It was spun off of the WrestleMania travel plans group. They're like, hey, let's talk spoilers. Let's create our own chat room for that, so that we don't ruin the movie for everybody else. So that's been kind of cool, except a big discussion before I went to go see it today, and I just kind of ignored that discussion even happened. But people, a small cell of that chat were not happy with the movie, that they didn't like it. So, which, I mean, I don't hold it against them, but at the same time, I'm like, why the criticisms that they're bringing up of it doesn't, like, that's like kind of the point. Like, this movie would be impossible. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to refute or go deeper into that. Like, the main thing, this is not a spoiler. The movie, you pretty much have to have seen a large amount of the previous 21 movies. I think maybe you could get by with like 3 or 4 of the movies, of the most recent movies, and you'll know what's going on, because those movies do a really good job of recapping all the stuff from before them. This movie kind of forgoes that. It doesn't do that nearly as much as the other movies do. And so it really does make it reliant on watching the other movies. Whereas a lot of the other movies, you don't need to see the previous ones. Like, you could see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and not have seen the first one, and you're fine. You could see Ant-Man and the Wasp and not seen the first one, and you'll be fine. You could see Infinity Wars and not have seen any of the other movies, and you'll be fine. Same with Ragnarok, and same with Captain Marvel. And that's pretty much all of the ones that I'd say you should watch before seeing Endgame. But Endgame, I feel like you kind of have to see those 5 other movies. What did I say what they were? The 5 most recent ones. From Thor Ragnarok on. No, from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on. I think you need to see. I don't even think you really need to see Guardians of the Galaxy, really, because you get the idea of the characters in Infinity War. Anyway, that's enough about Avengers for an episode that's not about them. I'm also trying to kind of make this episode a little bit longer anyway, because I only have 1 day left in the month and I still have 60 gigabytes to fill. 60 megabytes. 60 megabytes to fill of my allotment of space, because I archived some stuff to make room for that mega episode, but I didn't need to archive that much. I didn't need to clear up that much space. So here I am filling more space, talking about the space that needs to be filled. And so that brings us to NXT episode 40. I didn't take really specific notes about either of these episodes. I think I was present for the main event of this episode, Mustache Mountain versus Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. Actually, yes, I definitely was, because one of my favorite moments from the weekend, one of my favorite wrestling moves, was when Trent Seven caused one of them to be DDT'd by the other. And I really, really like that move. But that was the main event. Mustache Mountain won. The opening match was Ligero versus Cassius Ohno, and Ohno won that match. Kaylee Ray versus Xia Li. Kaylee Ray won that match. I don't think that I saw either of those matches in person, unfortunately. Seeing Kaylee Ray, no, what? Maybe I did see that match. Maybe I did. I can't remember. There's so much wrestling that week. I watched so much wrestling. But yeah, it is a decent episode. It was another episode that was filmed at WrestleMania Access, and I think there's one more, or maybe this was the third. Maybe this was the third one. I can't remember, but the next batch of episodes they filmed in Glasgow, and those should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that. Oh no, we haven't had. Was that last week? I don't think we've seen Piper Niven versus Reina Gonzalez yet. So I think we do still have one more week of access matches. Was that for NXT UK? I think that was for NXT UK. But anyway, over on NXT episode 503, we opened up with Jackson Riker versus Humberto Carrillo. Humberto Carrillo won via disqualification because the Forgotten Sons got involved in the match, I think it was. Or maybe he just kept beating on Humberto outside of the ring, and so he got disqualified for that. Yeah, I think that's what happens. And then the Forgotten Sons they're ganging up on Carrillo, but Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch arrived to fend them off, so that was kind of cool. I always enjoy seeing them in action. Then we had Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah versus Candice LeRae and Casey Catanzaro. Most of the announcers say Catanzaro, so that's how I pronounce her name. But then a couple of them pronounce it differently, and it has me questioning it. And I don't know if I've heard her actually say her name. I should look that up and see try to find something where she says her own name. Because that would be the definitive way to say it, to pronounce it. Candice gets the win in this match, and then Shane and friends attack Io backstage while she's being interviewed. So that's building that up. Like I said, at NXT Live, I got to see Io versus Shayna Baszler, and that was great to see that match in person. Let's see. Street Profits versus the War Raiders. The War Raiders won. I don't know if the titles are on the line. And they still are called the War Raiders on NXT. And they'll continue to be called the War Raiders on NXT as far as I know. I hope so anyway. And then our main event, Johnny Gargano versus Roderick Strong. This is a must-see match. I don't even have specifics to talk about for this. It's just awesome. We had Undisputed Era come out, and then Matt Riddle also come out. All kinds of interference. Earlier, we had Matt Riddle interrupt a photo session by Adam Cole. He's like, "Hey, I'm just here. I'm up next. What's your problem, bro?" That kind of thing. And then he goes to pose for his photos, and it's like so silly. But it's some good stuff. Good stuff here. Johnny Gargano won despite Undisputed Era's efforts to help Roderick win. And yeah, there wasn't a disqualification or anything like that. I don't think he just actually got the win there. And yeah, it was really cool. Lots of awesome stuff in this match. Oh, there's the Roderick caught Johnny Gargano out of that slingshot. Was it the slingshot DDT or the slingshot spear? It was the spear. That's right, I think. Roderick caught him out of the air and got him into that. Was it the end of Heartbreak? Is that his finisher? Is that what it's called? It's been a long day and a long couple of days, but and I didn't actually watch these episodes today. I watched them like last Thursday or something, or Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. Maybe I did watch them today. I can't remember. I just have my notes. I trust my notes mostly. But yeah, great main event. Totally worth checking out. They fought each other. I feel like they fought each other on a takeover before. Have they? Or am I thinking it's only been Gargano versus Cole that we've seen as far as singles action goes? I may be thinking of Roderick Strong versus Pete Dunne. That definitely happened. At some point, but anyway, I will have one more episode before I head out. I'm going to see a couple more Cirque du Soleil shows in Las Vegas. That's the only thing I'm doing out there, and I'm really excited for it because I'm seeing Love, which is the Beatles show, and I'm seeing Mystere, which I feel like is like the one that I hear about the most as being really, really good. And I have no idea what acts are in Mystere or anything like that. Actually, Ka, maybe I hear more about Ka being really good. But I will be going to see Ka at the end of May, towards the end of May, not at the end, as part of my weekend going out there for Double or Nothing. How about that? I will absolutely be talking about that show. I do an episode about that show. And I'm going to go a bunch of the panels and stuff. It's going to be so much fun. I wasn't originally planning on going, but opportunity arose to do so, and I am super excited for that. So I will attempt to watch tonight's episode of Raw before I head out and record a quick episode about that. So stay tuned. That's coming up real soon. And if I have time and I feel so inclined, that kind of rhymed. That rhymed too. That part rhymed too. I might do a full spoiler episode about Avengers Endgame. Maybe I'll have to go, maybe I'll go see it one more time. See it one more time. One last time. One last ride. Everybody's using that catchphrase in these last couple of years. So, yeah, now I'm just stalling and trying to make this episode longer for no reason now. Because I already said I'm going to record at least one more episode before the next month starts. Thanks for listening. Tweet me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. Share links. Listen on the in the apps that you use to listen. And yeah, I'll be back real soon with whatever is next. Stay safe out there, super friends. Thanks for listening. This has been TIW Podcast. Bye.